something that relates to that. How are we meant to finish? Well, how are we finishing this year? So this week I'm continuing from where we stopped last week. Finishing well. How are we going to finish this year? Last week we pointed, there's a scripture that pointed that like an athlete, everybody runs to obtain. We run to obtain. And athletes, one thing we know athletes for is that athletes, whenever they are getting towards the finish line, they always do something extraordinary. Some of them will like to quicken their pace in order to be there on time, or to come first, or maybe change their position in life, or change their position in the race, rather. Some of them maybe, some will use their head, some their chest, or anything they use to throw themselves at that finishing line. So the same thing applies to each of every one of us. How are we finishing this year? How are we going to finish this year? How are we finishing the year that we have started? What are those goals and objectives that we have set to ourselves? Have we attained them? Some of them that we have attained, have you ticked them? The ones you haven't attained, what are you doing to make sure that you attain those goals and all that? So today I'm going to talk on the topic, finishing well, and after that we'll pray some prayers. According to the book of Ecclesiastes 7:8, it said, the end of a thing is better than the beginning. The end of everything is better than the beginning. How are we ending this year? Are we going to end it with God, being in His presence all the time, seeking the ways, God, what do you want me to do in any matter that concerns us in our life? All those goals that have not been achieved, Lord, what do you want me? How do I achieve those goals? So this evening I'm going to speak on 5 keys of finishing well. 5 keys to finish well. 5 keys to finish well. And the first one, I termed it, define your victory. Define your victory. In life, anything you see, maybe you have attained any victory or anything, you just think this is a victory. But is it the victory that relates to what you have already assigned yourself at the beginning of the year? Is that what you want yourself to attain? Or just anyhow victory, that's a victory for me? Let's look at the book of Mark 5, 25 to 29. The woman with the issue of blood. Media, okay. So maybe our media is struggling today. We understand. The book of Mark 5. Okay. Mark 5, 25 to 29. Mark 5, 25 to 29 says, and there is a certain woman which had an issue of blood for 12 years, and has suffered many things of many physicians, and has spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. When she heard of Jesus, came in the press behind and touched his garment. For she said, if I may touch but these clothes, I shall be made whole. So that woman has a goal. She has a goal. She defined what her goal will be, what her victory will be. In that verse 28, but if I may touch, and straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. She defined what will look like her victory. In the beginning of the year, one of the prophecies our Daddy Gio told us at the beginning of the year, if I will remember, Daddy Gio, one of the things he said in one of the prophecies, he said that I think the challenges of 2002 will lead to our greatest testimony in this 2023. So that woman had the definition of what her testimony is going to look like. What will be her victory and all that. She defined it. She had that definition. This year, do we have the definitions of what our testimonies are going to look like at the end of the year? Do we have the definitions of those things? Or the definitions of what will be our this year? May the Lord help us in the mighty name. Let's again look at 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 17. David and Goliath. 1 Samuel 17, 45 to 47. First Samuel 17, verses 45 to 47. Then said David to the Philistines, "Thou comest to me with a sword